Hello, everybody. My name's James. Welcome to the Planet FPL fan view, where I welcome one of our correspondents onto the podcast to discuss current matters at their club. And everybody wants to ask me about Ollie Watkins this week. So I thought I'd ask a Villa correspondent instead. Lee Jackson, how are you, mate?
Very good, thanks, mate. Very good.
Right, can we start there so I don't have to do another 50 questions on it on the deadline stream later today? Ollie Watkins, is he getting the armband this week? Yes or no?
Probably.
Brilliant, Lee. Thanks. I'm going to get 50 more questions now, aren't I? You don't own at the moment. Am I right in saying that?
Correct.
Go on.
Yeah, so for me, if I did own, to be clear, I would captain. But for me, I
Okay.
have to weigh up whether it's worth selling. In my case, it would be Marmoush. I've got the money in the bank to do that in one move for a free transfer. Or do I want to save and have a couple of transfers to have some fun on in 38? But I'm not going to put anyone off captaining Watkins. I think the biggest factor here is there aren't that many great options this week. None of the premiums are in great form. So you kind of look at Watkins, who historically has just been Mr. Reliable. We know he gets goals and assists. He ticks along nicely. He's got a home fixture. And he's also quite streaky. He goes long periods where he won't score, and then when he gets one, he does tend to score in consecutive games. And he scored last week, broke his little, I think, three-match duck. So yeah,
Is it a Watkins and Villa decision or is it a Tottenham decision?
I think it's a lack of other options decision. Um, but then I look at our recent form, and I do see we've had cagey 1-0 wins against Fulham and Bournemouth, and we are at that stage of the season where all we need to do is win, and that's all that matters. If we're winning with 10 minutes to go and it's 1-0, we will be shutting up shop. We won't be going off out there to try and get two or three.
Is Watkins the only Villa player worth considering for captaincy?
No, no. In this week in particular, given where we are in the season, if you've got a big lead to try and catch up in your mini league and you need to do something different, yeah, go for it. It's that time of the season now where for a lot of people I think it's do or die, and you can take risks because you might as well if you've got something to try and turn around. Could Rogers hit double digits this week and Watkins get a two-pointer? Yeah, it could happen. Anything can happen in a one-off game week, as we all know.
Oh, yeah, listen, one game, isn't it? John McGinn
Yeah,
might be a higher scorer, right?
yeah, exactly.
Rogers, I guess, is the other one he's a certain starter along with
Yeah,
Watkins.
for sure.
But where would you anticipate him playing on Friday night?
Probably out wide. We've seen this more and more, and most Villa fans I speak to want Rogers in the middle. But while Asensio's there, I think he wants to play both of them. And so, unfortunately, that is pushing Rogers out wide, which, hey, he can still do damage out wide. He got a great assist at Bournemouth last week, and he can still score goals from that position. We've seen it throughout the season. But it does diminish his appeal a bit, I think. I think he's got more routes to points when he plays in that 10 position.
He's allowed to drift in, though, isn't he?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I
not like
mean,
a Bailey that's going to hog the touchline.
yeah. I mean, we should acknowledge at this stage we are pre-recording essentially on Thursday morning prior to Unai Emery's press conference. So, team news obviously important, and usually with Emery, he's normally the last one to get news from. So him having
Yeah.
the information out on the Thursday is quite useful for a change. But we do know that you are missing a couple of players that are
Mm-hmm.
important to you for this one. Youri Tielemans, I presume, is not going to be back.
Doesn't sound like it now.
And that's the best source of route to Watkins directly over the top from distance.
Correct.
And Jacob Ramsey is obviously a really good player for you as well. How big of a miss are they? And are we purely overlooking that because of your strong home record, the fact you've got something to play for, Tottenham with one eye on next Wednesday? I mean, should we be taking more notice of the fact that Ramsey and Tielemans are likely to be well, Ramsey certainly, but Tielemans also likely to be unavailable?
I think Ramsey is a great player. He's kind of flown under the radar a bit, I think, because Rogers has got all the headlines and Tielemans has had a great season, and obviously Watkins scores most of the goals. We've had Rashford and Asensio come in, but in big games, Emery so often will turn to Ramsey, and he's just Mr. Reliable. He gets up and down the pitch, works hard, moves great with the ball. Not quite as strong as Rogers on the ball, but still definitely got the ability to beat a man and drive through the lines. Um, but we do have other options in that area. Tielemans, to your point on those long balls over the top to Watkins, which we've seen countless times this season, that is a miss, and that is a potential supply line that Watkins has thrived on this season, the amount of times Tielemans has found him. So I think we should take that into consideration. Having said that, Rogers has assisted Watkins more than Tielemans has this season, and he'll be available. So I don't think it's a massive concern. I wouldn't let that put people off.
Okay. What do you think the team will be Friday night? I'll
Cool.
start. Emi Martinez in goal.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to go with that as well.
Matty Cash at right back. Esri
Yeah.
Konsa at right sided centre back. And now I'm confused.
Oh, you've done the easy ones. Left me in the
Yes,
hard
pretty
ones.
much. Yes. I bottled it.
It is really tough. So we've seen Mings, Torres alternating the last few weeks. Same with Dean and Matson. And we are spoilt for choice a bit because that's four really good players that I think would get into most Premier League teams, certainly bottom half Premier League teams. Torres is better on the ball. His distribution's better than Mings. His range of passing is better than Mings, but Mings is much stronger in the air. And the clean sheets that we've kept in recent weeks have all coincided with Mings playing. And Emery did get a bit of stick in the FA Cup semi-final from some fans to say Mings should have played. Why didn't you play Mings? We've looked really solid defensively under Mings. I don't think it's that simple in terms of that FA Cup final. Crystal Palace were great, and all over the park we were thoroughly second best. But for this game specifically at Tottenham at home, where we'll probably see a lot of the ball, I could see him going Torres. That would be my prediction. Matson Dean is harder, but if you push me right now, I'd say Matson probably starts.
You say you'll see a lot of the ball. The last two games between the two teams, Tottenham have won 4-1 and 4-0.
Mm,
And I do think Tottenham are largely going to pick a strong team on Friday night.
yeah, I do as well. It's whether he goes man to man like he did last time, which I know you said at the time was probably the downfall. And he should have changed it sooner, I think. But at home, I think we will see a lot of the ball, but it's whether we can play through that Tottenham press. There is a risk it becomes a bit of a basketball match if we are pressing high and you're pressing high.
I don't think we won a basketball match, actually. I
Mm,
think we probably do play the game very differently to the game that was played last March, where you very much set up not to lose first and foremost, and then
that's
couldn't
where it
recover
fell
once
down.
you went one down. We got a second very quickly, and then John McGinn got sent off, and boom, it was gone. You blinked,
Yeah.
and from a game that was nothing, we ended up cruising to a 4-0 victory. I don't think that has any relevance personally
Mm,
on this one, and obviously the game is far more important to you. So
yeah.
you think Mings or Torres?
Torres.
Left back?
Matson.
I suppose it's Anana and Kamara now, is it? Anana was good at Bournemouth, mate.
Yeah, he was great. Really impressive. Great driving runs through the middle. I like the fact that he didn't try and do Tielemans' role. He wasn't trying to play those long balls. He was like, no, 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 that's not my game. This is what I can bring to the table. And he really stepped up. I think he saw that opportunity with Tielemans missing to show what he can do. And like you say, I thought it was great. Yeah, Anana, Kamara, double pivot for Friday night. Rogers, probably at right mid.
You think
McGinn.
right?
He's been playing him right a lot lately. Yeah,
My instinct's left with Ramsey unavailable.
yeah, it could be. It could be. McGinn certainly, I think, will be back in the 11, and then Asensio Watkins.
Asensio chance of starting high for you? Is it
Yeah, I
kind
think
of feel
so.
like a given for this one?
It's shown the last few weeks, I think, with the semi-final and with the last couple of Premier League games that Asensio is first choice in that 11 when he's fit.
I guess for FPL managers looking to invest and buy new, you are also thinking about 38.
Hmm.
You could go Watkins now and then go like Evan Nilsson in 38, but I think if you get him in, you want to get him in or back. Some people are going to consider an Isak hokey cokey, I guess as well, possibly.
Mm.
But I think largely if you buy at this stage, you probably want it to go in and stay. So I guess defensively, it's got to be Cash or Conser, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Which one?
Cash, I think, there's the upside there.
I'm in agreement with that. Would you consider, if you didn't own Asensio or Rogers, would you consider going there now?
I think there are better options. I'd be more tempted to. Depends how many transfers you've got. If you sat there with a load of transfers, great. Maybe have a punt. But I'd love the idea of if I had a spare transfer next week to steam into like Semenyo and Evan Nielsen for home Leicester. That feels like a real high upside. Or get a couple of Arsenal forwards in for Southampton away.
Yeah, I get that. If you were free hitting this week, which free?
Um, Rogers, Watkins, Cash.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement with that, Lee. I would chance if I was on free hit this way, I would chance Matty Cash over Conte. I think he's been really good the last couple of games. I see no reason at all
Yeah, he
why
has.
he won't play at right back. Rogers, the clear standout. I think that's over Asensio for me. The benefit with Rogers as well is it's so likely to be 90 minutes as well.
Mm,
Is there any for Watkins as well? Is there any concern when you look at say the Fulham game? It came off quite early
mm.
for Daniel Marlon. Should there be any concern for that for those who want to captain him?
I don't think so. He's had a 4 weeks rest, hasn't he? Played a lot of minutes this season. He does tend to be, touch wood, a fitness monster, Watkins. Um, and we saw him sort of come out of the side for a bit when Rashford was in there, where it looked like maybe he wasn't first choice anymore. But Emery did mention that he was nursing a bit of an injury at the time. And I think as football fans, we can sometimes be a bit black and white, where a player is either injured or they're fit. Whereas actually, in reality, they can often be somewhere in the middle where they're nursing a little knock, and they could play if they had to. But actually, let's play Rashford and give Watkins a bit of a breather. So no, I wouldn't be too concerned about his fitness at the moment, even though he came off early against Fulham.
Okay. So you're probably going Marmoush to Watkins.
Yeah,
Would you go Isak to Watkins?
no, no,
Have
not
you
with
have
that.
you have you got Isak?
I do, yeah. And I looked at that and I see that Everton fixture in 38, and I go, no, I want some of that.
Visser to Watkins?
What's Brentford's last two?
Fulham at home, and then they finish at Wolves.
No, I don't think I would.
Mateta.
What's Palace last two?
Would have obviously got a cup final Saturday. Wolves at
Yeah,
home Tuesday, and they finish at Liverpool.
yeah, I'd do Mateta to Watkins.
Would you do that move for -4? Because I feel like that's the most common one I saw on my stream on Wednesday was Mateta to Watkins for a -4.
If you want to captain Watkins, then yeah, that justifies it. But if you're still going to captain Bumo, for example, then nah, don't bother. It's not going to be worth it.
The other thing a lot of people were saying on my stream Wednesday was like, I want to chase. And I explained to one question, it's like, well, if you want to chase, don't buy Watkins.
Yeah,
Because it looks like everybody is.
yeah, this is it. I originally wrote off Watkins because I thought in my position I want to play it quite conservatively, and I thought Watkins is that differential where if you want to captain him, yeah, go for it. Whereas now it feels like it's spun the other way, where a lot of people are going to go there, and it might be a defensive move to go Watkins. So you might be better off if you're trying to chase a lead down, get Vardy in and captain him home to Ipswich.
The only thing with Vardy now is it's been announced this morning is he's not going to play in game at 38.
Yeah, so you'd need the cover for
So
38.
if you get him in, you've got to move him on again. Do you think Watkins will have the highest EO this week?
It's hard, isn't it?
It's probably him or Bumo, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, or do a lot of less engaged players just turn to Salah? If
I
in
don't
doubt,
know
captain
because they
Salah.
haven't done the last couple of weeks. I mean, he's now was under 100% EO last week,
Mm,
and I think the pictures of Liverpool players being out on the beach, literally, is probably enough stigma where content creators, etc., are probably not going to push that. I think the big push seems to be sort of Watkins versus Palmer. Palmer's ownership's not been as much, but nowhere near as many people asked me about buying Palmer as Watkins this week.
No, maybe he will be. Maybe he will be the highest owned as well. The other thing that swung my thinking, I was out walking the dog yesterday, thinking about my FPL team, as you do. And
The
the thing
dog
that
was well
swung it,
pleased.
the thing that swung it for me for why I think I will go for Watkins now as well is I kind of took a step back and tried to take my Villa glasses off and think if this was any other team and they had a player who consistently scores 15 goals a season, gets assists, and they were home to Tottenham and there weren't many other options, I'd be going there. I'd be bringing him in and captaining him. But it's just that pessimistic Villa side of me that thinks I don't want double pain if we lose and Watkins blanks.
Yeah, I also this is the first time I've felt this for a while. Obviously, look, it's captain a player against my team. Normally, I just switch off from it. It's like, okay, I think that's the best decision. I obviously don't want them to do well, but it was the game's irrelevant to us.
Mm.
It really is.
Yeah,
And I would like to cheer on my captain this week, and I'm obviously not going to do it if I captain Watkins. I think that the swinger for me is I do think Tottenham will go strong, but I don't think we should rule out things like Romero and Van der Ven both play and they come off at half time.
yeah.
I don't think we should rule out that sort of thing potentially happening. That's what we did against Nottingham Forest a few weeks ago.
Mm. Just give
So
them a run out.
certainly Mickey Van der Ven, I can't believe he played more than an hour if he does start.
Yeah.
Romero might be different. Porro started Thursday and Sunday, so does Porro maybe get a rest now?
Mm.
Higher up the pitch, I think it probably will be quite strong, but it might be that people are penciled in for 45, 60-minute breaks and stuff. So it might even be that it opens up, and when the game opens up, it just suits Watkins better as well, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think it plays on players' minds as well, potentially at Tottenham, where they're thinking about the final? Thinking,
I
shit, I
think
don't want to get
The
into it.
Kulusevski news this week obviously doesn't help. It's like, oh, I've just seen my mate now has gone and have a knee operation, is obviously going to miss the final. I just think psychologically that might change things a little bit for us Friday. It's like can't really lose anyone else
Don't get injured. Yeah.
because it's getting bare again, heading towards a game which I mean this game is literally irrelevant for us. It's going to be nearly the most irrelevant game of football that we've ever played.
Mm.
I'll take a 10-0 defeat if we win Wednesday, mate.
Yeah,
That's how I would feel
sure,
about it right
sure.
now. And we can't keep losing games, but it's gone on so long now. It's like it just doesn't. Which 21 defeats to 20? Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't
Mm.
really matter at this stage. So I think he needs to get momentum in a few players. But like I said, I think it might be structured 45 for Van der Ven, 60,
Yeah,
65 for Romero. It might be stuff like that. So I think all in, I think Watkins is the right captaincy choice this week. And I'm glad I haven't got to have to fight to get there. I think for I wouldn't go things like Isak to Watkins for -4, I don't think. But the other ones, look at like Mateta and you think you might not even play. If you're captaining him, it feels worthwhile, I think.
mm. No, especially in this new FPL game that we're now playing, where you can roll up to 5 transfers. Hits have got to be so rare and justifiable.
But I think at this stage that kind of process is eliminated, right? I think if you've
Yeah,
got 3 or 4 free transfers at this stage, like blessed to you. I'm not
yeah,
seeing many teams in that position at the moment. And if you are, I think you shouldn't just go, oh, I want 5 for 38. Like you should probably attack something at this stage.
yeah, exactly. And if you're chasing down a massive deficit against your mini league rival, then yeah, you might as well punt a -4 or a -8.
We'll come back to that in a bit. Let's talk about this top five race, Lee, because I think you'd said quite some time ago that you'd kind of ruled yourself out of it.
Yeah.
You've managed to stay in 63 points plus 7 goal difference, one better than Forest in seventh, but their goal difference is better. You are level with Chelsea, got 12 goals inferior, 2 points behind City, who have a better goal difference, 3 points behind Newcastle, who have a better goal difference. I guess the first question is you are playing these two drunk teams in Tottenham and Manchester United in the last two. First and foremost, are you hoping that Manchester United win Europa League finals so that both teams are drunk in consecutive weeks?
Pretty much, yeah.
Fair enough. I accept that. And do you think 2 wins will be enough?
Yeah. I think if we win both, we'll do it. But
Do
I'm
you?
not that confident that we'll do it.
Okay, so why?
Just because um, we've got an awful record in these two fixtures, and I know that doesn't always matter, but home to Tottenham, I think we've won one in the last 13 or so. And at Old Trafford, we've won twice in like the last 20 years or something bonkers. Um, but I just can't believe that we're actually going to do it when we look at that record. We've won 7 out of the last 8 in the Premier League. Are we really going to win 9 out of the last 10 in the Premier League? Like that would be an unbelievable finish. I can't quite believe that it's gonna come off. It just feels like something has to go wrong. And I know that's not super rational or tactical reason for why I don't think we'll do it, but our luck has to run out at some point because we have been fortunate through this run.
But then it might not be enough, right? Because if Chelsea win the 2 games,
Yeah.
City only need 4 points, Newcastle only need 1 win. The goal
The
difference
only
is going to count against you, isn't it?
This could bite me in the ass, but the only way that I see Chelsea winning both those games is if Forest slip up at West Ham and have nothing to play for on the last day.
Do you think Forest will get something against Chelsea final day?
Yeah, I do. I think if they need to, like the City ground atmosphere would be bouncing. It's such a tough place to go when the crowd's on side. And if they've got a shot at Champions League and they just need Villa to slip up and they know that winning it and a Villa slip up would do it, I think Forest will do it.
Can you foresee a scenario here where 4 points might be enough? Does it feel like it's got to be the 6 points and then
No, I
keep
think
fingers
we
crossed?
have to. I think we have to win them both. But after the Man City game, when we lost, I sat there and I said we need to win the last four. We've won two of them, but that hasn't changed in my head. I think we have to win both.
I thought you were done at that point when you lost that night as well.
No,
Emery's reaction after the game felt like,
heartbreak.
or I say after the game, when the winning goal went in, spoke volumes of the disappointment. You could see,
Yeah,
it kind of felt like every fan in that moment. It was like, managers don't normally let their mask sit like that. And
no,
he
he
did, and it's
doesn't normally.
understandable.
No, he doesn't normally show it that disappointment. But yeah, you could see he was just absolutely gutted. And
He
you can't
shows
help.
anger and intensity sometimes, but he doesn't normally show disappointment
No,
openly. Yeah.
no, and you can't help but look at the table now and think if that had have finished a draw, it'd be in our hands. We'd be 1 point ahead of Chelsea, going, okay, win the last two and it's done.
Well, you'd be fourth. You'd
Yeah.
be ahead of City as well.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
6 point LA. I know you're familiar with 6 pointers because you used to be really shit, mate. But you're a good side now. I want to talk about the Palace semi-final a bit.
Mm.
How disappointing was that?
Oh, massively. I mean, my old man's seen Villa win the European Cup, seen them win the league and stuff. So he's seen them lift trophies. I've never seen Villa win a trophy, which I feel like I say every time I come on the podcast in the hopes that one day it might change. But
Maybe
we
you should stop
really,
saying it.
yeah, I really thought we had a chance this year. I really did, with Emery being such a good cup manager, Palace with respect, not a top Premier League team. Um, yeah, it was incredibly disappointing. I was sort of reflecting on it afterwards because we were, as I touched on earlier in the podcast, we were dreadful. We were thoroughly second best across the board. Um, and I was sort of thinking, is that worse or better than playing really well and being unlucky or being robbed by a dodgy refereeing decision? And I actually think it's better that we were rubbish because you can just sit back and say, you know what, we got what we deserved. We didn't step up to the plate. Palace were great.
As opposed to, I'll say it for you. Why wasn't the Manjovic sent off in the League Cup final in
2010.
2010, I want to say?
Yeah,
Yeah, still a strange one, that, admittedly. So, yeah, you'd rather get the tank in, would you? Okay,
yeah, I think
interesting.
so.
What chance do you give Palace on Saturday?
Um, I don't think they'll do it, but they've got a chance in a one-off game. They've certainly got a great squad and a great set of players. I think it's more about whether they can handle the occasion and the pressure. But having already played at Wembley and beaten Villa, that will give them belief that yeah, we've played here before, we know this ground, and we can do it.
And I know Clayton was obviously really fearing you rather than playing PSG.
Mm,
But they weren't bad. That felt like a pretty noble effort in the end, mate. You so nearly took them to extra time. That was the kind of the opposite of what obviously happened in the Palace game and the way you responded in that second leg. Was there
mm.
pride in that? Ultimately, disappointment? How did it feel?
Yeah, I think by the end, at half time, when we were 2-0 down at home, 5-1 down on aggregate, you sat there and you're just thinking, God, this could get really embarrassing here.
They're a bit better than us.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But at the end, by that fight that we came back and almost did it, no one at Villa Park was disappointed. The reception after the game was just a sort of celebration, really, of how far we've come. No one could have dreamed at the start of the season that we'd make the quarterfinals of the Champions League. So despite the disappointment, yeah, just delighted to have got that far. And my God, PSG are an unbelievable side. I thought this when they were playing Liverpool in the previous round, just thinking the way they move the ball with pace and intensity and the way they win the ball back, they are just incredible. And I didn't see anything that changed my mind when we played them. I was sat there for most of the two legs going, Jesus, they are so good. Like they're just so good.
It's a good run, though, mate.
Yeah, yeah, delighted. Absolutely delighted.
Yeah, I think you'd attack the quarterfinal pre-season. You had big nights there, like
Yeah,
the Bayern Munich win. Obviously, will
100%.
stay with you
Yeah.
forever and stuff. And I think it shows that because obviously it was new for Villa to go to that intensity in two competitions, and there
Mm,
was a lot made earlier in the season about your record after European games. we've
Mm.
made a lot about your away record. I think your away record now, by the way, I think is now better than City and Chelsea's. Ironically, this
That's
season,
really
I
swung
think
back.
you're like 4 out of 5 wins in a row away from home or something, aren't you? With a
Yeah,
number of clean sheets in there, actually. So you've not faded as well. What happens to clubs when they kind of play at a European level that are not used to that level? And I know you went quite deep in Europe last year, but it's obviously a big step up. You kind of do feel like that's going to head till we hit February, March, and the fatigue hits in a bit.
yeah,
It's not for your team. And I want that's got to have a huge role to Emery's experience of running through these competitions and being, like you said, a good cup manager, mate.
yeah, for sure.
I, my inkling is you're going to just miss out on 5 here.
Mm.
As it stands, I can see Chelsea winning both games, and I think
Yeah.
City and Newcastle. I think City and Newcastle will do enough to finish above you. I can see that Chelsea winning the 2 games actually.
Mm. Hey, if we win both games and miss out, you've got to just say, you know what, we tried, we gave it our all, and we did well. We were just not
Well,
quite enough.
it looked, if you go back to sort of February-ish, we were looking at it and saying we thought sort of circa 67 points would probably be enough. And
Mm.
it might still be, by the way. But if you finish 6th on 69, that's pretty unlucky.
Yeah.
Even if everybody does love a good, right. I won't do that joke any further, mate. Talk to me about your FPL season, mate, because you've had a stormer, mate. I mean, on behalf of all the correspondents, congratulations. You are the Planet FPL correspondent mini league winner this
Stop it.
season. Well, or if you don't win it, mate,
I
then
was going to
that's an Ajax of Amsterdam bottle job, by the way. More on that on
say,
Clayton and James in a couple of weeks.
let's not try and jinx it, shall we?
And that's not related to Tottenham, by the way. That's related to what's happening in the Eredivisie at the moment.
Yeah, it's been an amazing season. I've played this game or variations of this game since I was at school and I was like 11 years old, but I've never had a season where the luck has fallen quite in this way. Um, yeah, just got on the right players at the right time. Consumed a lot of content, so certainly Planet FPL every week. I know I'm a patron, but I'm also a listener. That helps. FPL Wire, FPL Harry. Um, Lots of great content out there nowadays, which you can take info
Do you
from.
not want to thank God as well? Or right there,
Yeah.
or
But no, you've got to have a load of luck to finish top 10K or even
do
higher.
you?
Yeah, you've got to have some luck along the way for sure.
Where you ranked?
3,000 something.
I mean, you said earlier you're more looking to block.
Yeah,
So are you
100%.
looking to stay like in the top 5K or something? What's the thinking at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, top 10K, I'd be delighted with that. I would have taken that at the start of the season, bit your hand off for it. But at this stage, it's just about winning mini leagues. I've got a couple of big cash leagues where I've got like 7 point or 11 point leads. So it's tight. So I really just want to hold on to those mini leagues as much as anything. And whether that's 3K, 4K, 5K, fine.
Well, considering the idiot in second in the correspondent league is 79 points behind you at the moment,
Who's that?
I don't know. I feel like you're fairly safe at the moment. We had a look that there was 6. I'm second. There are 16 correspondents who are closer to me than I am to you. So you can't blow it here, Lee. But your historical FPL record's quite good, right?
I've had one top 10K finish before. But other than that, no, not really. You're
Okay.
having a good season though as well.
Yeah,
Where are you?
it's better than normal. Yeah, if it ends in 5 digits, that's an improvement on normal, I suppose. So we'll take it. Yeah, yeah, bastard stopping me winning the correspondent mini league, but
Oh,
mate,
don't,
I,
don't.
I, I congratulate you, mate. And my team might get revenge Friday night, but I doubt it. Just a couple more bits before we finish. Marcus Rashford.
Hmm.
I mean, that night against PSG showed what the capability is obviously
Yeah,
still there.
sure,
Do you
sure.
think the club will sign him? And do you want
No,
to, I guess?
no. I don't think the club will sign him, but I'd be quite happy if we did. But we just have to find a compromise on those wages. We can't be paying 350 grand a week, obviously. There was a story yesterday, I don't know if you've seen, that apparently Rashford wants to stay at Villa. He doesn't want to go abroad, is the rumour. United's off the table. They're saying there's no chance he goes back there. So, yeah, maybe there is a resolution where they can talk him into some sort of pay cut. I've really liked him from what I've seen in general. I do worry a bit about the attitude side of it, but does he come to Villa with a bit of a point to prove? That was certainly how it looked for the first few games when he started for us.
Could it be a loan again?
Yeah, could be.
I mean, if United aren't going to get the money, I want to get rid of the wages. So
Yeah, I don't
yes,
see why not.
that would be a possibility. And sorry to bring the tone down, but I'm sure you probably have seen some reports that have also suggested that there is one club in danger of failing PSR this year, and it's you.
Yep.
And the reports would suggest that there has to be a big sale prior
Mm.
to June 30th.
Yes.
What do you think that looks like for Villa? Because it does sound like how can I say this kindly? The Kellyman Matson kind of deal is probably not going to be enough. It does need to be a big outright sale by the sounds of it.
Mm. I mean, we're speculating. I don't think we're sure on the exact numbers, and it's worth saying we do have quite a few good youth prospects that we are still on our books that we can potentially shift, like Kane Kessler-Hayden, who's had an amazing season at Preston North End. But like you say, that's probably not going to make up the number that we need to hit. I think the most likely ones to move on would be Martinez.
Really?
Yeah, I could see that. You look at the stats; he hasn't had a great season this year, and
Sorry, it's not the best goalkeeper in the world.
of course he is. But yeah, he hasn't had a great season, and I just wonder with Martinez being Argentinian whether he wants a new challenge in terms of somewhere else in Europe. He's got it's not like he's from England in the same way like a Rogers or a Watkins or a Ramsey is, and those are some of the other names that are really being spoken about in terms of sales. I don't see it being Rogers. I cannot believe that we would let him go. He is the focal point and the star of that team, really, and he's still young. So I think Unai Emery would prioritise keeping him over anyone else. Could it be Watkins? Maybe. He's just broken the Premier League goal scoring record for Villa. Could we get good money for him? Yeah, potentially. But that would certainly need replacing, especially now we haven't even got Duran. But was
You,
Marlon signed as a potential Watkins replacement? Who knows?
you, the thing is, once you go past June 30th, you can then go and add again if
Yeah,
you want to. So one sale needs to go now, essentially, and then you might want to bring something else in. That if you brought Rashford in on loan again,
yeah,
I don't see you having Daniel Marlon as gone from this with Duran and Watkins to then just having Marlon next summer
no,
would be,
that'd be concerning.
yeah, wouldn't be great. I think on Rogers, the only thing I would say is if, I don't know, Liverpool go, so we want to buy and there's 80 million, there's a conversation, isn't there?
Yeah, I think there is for the right price. There is, but I don't think it will happen. Don't think it will happen on Rogers.
It feels,
Ramsey's
I agree. I feel like it's going to be Watkins or Ramsey, I think.
Ramsey's the other one, homegrown as well. Ramsey, so it's pure
Mm.
profit. And like I said earlier on when we were talking about team selection, we do have other options that can play in the Ramsey position.
What would the club want for Ramsey?
It's a good question because he's still quite young, isn't he? What is he about
Well,
23,
he's been
24?
linked to my club most windows over the last couple of years, actually. And I just wondered if he just deliberately got himself suspended so he didn't play against his future club, right?
Yeah, maybe that's a conspiracy theory
I
for
don't
you.
think the different conspiracy theory is I don't think Jacob Ramsey has intentions of playing in the championship in 15 months' time.
Stop it. He's 23, Ramsey, so still young, British, which always adds a bit on. And I really rate him. Whether we would get it, I don't know, but I'd want at least 50 or 60 million for him.
Late, good luck for the rest of the season, my friend. Go on, give me a correct score prediction for Friday night.
Oh, don't make me do that. It's not Clash of the Correspondents. I don't have to, do
I don't care. It's my podcast.
I? um, a horrible 1-0 Villa.
Hold on, Lee. That's not what we're buying Watkins for, is it? 1-0.
No, it's not.
Hmm. I think it'll either be quite tight, like 2-1, or you'll absolutely muller us. And it must be said, for all the talk that I'd mentioned about Tottenham's good league performances against Villa over the last couple of years, You beat us 2-1 in the FA Cup fourth round in January, and my goodness, it should have been a lot more.
Mm.
Lee, thank you very much. Anything we'll plug before we finish?
No, I don't think so. Is this one going out publicly or is it a Patreon?
Well, it's a bit late now. Yes, it is publicly. Yeah, yeah.
There you go. Well, then in that case, sign up to patreon.com/Planet FPL.
Lee, thank you so much. Have a good weekend, everyone. Good luck for game week 37. Play it your way. And you can join me for the deadline stream on YouTube at 5 p.m. UK time tonight, ahead of the 6 p.m. UK deadline. Just don't ask me any Ollie Watkins questions. Thank you very much, Lee. Cue music, please. Man child.